Alrighty, recently played, you know what it is. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on 6equence by Byul. Let's get into it. Alright, so I'll start off by saying that I like Byul, and you know, as an idol, I think she's a pretty unique personality, and she definitely stands out in the K-pop world. I think traditionally, idols are kind of boxed into being cute, sexy, or badass, but I don't think she really fits into any of those archetypes. She kind of has this laid back, welcoming, friendly, and funny personality, you know, like somebody that you'd want to hang out with. And I think we don't see a lot of that with female idols. So Byul has stated that this is a concept album that tells the story of a relationship, and you know, on its own, that's really far from being anything too groundbreaking. But while it's never explicitly said, she does heavily imply that this is a same-sex relationship that she's talking about. And you know, I think that it was cool, and this kind of representation is something that we just don't see enough of in mainstream K-pop. Especially in the way she describes the intimacy of the relationship on the lyrics of the track Shutdown. When I first read the translation of that song, I just thought it was quite bold and powerful, and overall on this album, I like how she describes a queer relationship as being every bit as beautiful and complicated as any other relationship. Alright, so I've loved the single G999 ever since it came out. I think the heavily stylized 90s K-pop direction works so well on the track. It's got that weird, bold, audacious attitude that I love about Mamamoo, and even though the track is clearly a throwback, it has a nice modern hip-hop edge to it. I think the vocal phrasing is definitely a little bit more modern, and the use of auto-tune on the feat from Mirani is great too. And you know, what a great feature from Mirani as well. I think she complements the track quite nicely, and I can say the same about the feature from Seori on Shutdown. Her vocals in the chorus are really what make that track memorable for me. I thought it was definitely a great choice to have these as the only two feats on the album, and you know, it felt very fitting that you can clearly tell that these artists were chosen because these are people that she really respects and admires. I thought Lunatic was quite catchy and tightly produced. I do like how Byul plays around with her vocals, and she sounds like she's having fun with it, you know? I like the lulu na 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 and the blah blah blahs. I think those are fun ideas. Getting into the last two tracks of the album, For Me and Do Do Do, not to be confused with Do 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 or Dun Dun or Dun Dururun. I think these last two tracks of the album really showcase some great range for her as a vocalist. I think she goes way beyond her established identity as just the rapper from Mamamoo. I think she really goes above and beyond, and I think these tracks really showcase her as a worthy solo vocalist. So, you know, as I've been saying, there is a lot to like about this album, but overall, my biggest complaint about it is that it just doesn't do Byul's personality justice. She still sounds like she's playing it safe, and that just makes it less memorable for me. As I said before, Mamamoo is all about embracing your inner weirdo and being true to yourself, and I just don't get a whole lot of that from the songwriting alone on this album. You know, to add to that, I have the same complaint about the recent releases from Hwasa and Wheein. Musically, they're not bad at all, but they're also just not that memorable. In all of these releases, I hear a lot of generic sounding R&B tracks, which are fine, but I just can't help but forget about them rather quickly after hearing them. You know, personally, I enjoy Mamamoo and Byul the most when they're very audacious and in your face and just having fun being a total weirdo. And the only track I really get that from on this album is G999, but even then, I still would have liked to hear something totally quirky and random, like Taller Than You, or Dinga, or Funky Boy, or Mr. Ambiguous. And this next comparison is gonna be a little bit of a stretch, but Moonbyul does remind me quite a bit of my favorite J-pop rap group, Kelmiko. And, you know, similarly, Kelmiko's music is all about being yourself, even if that means being a total weirdo. You know, they have a song that is literally a children's song about a bear that drinks beer and parties with forest animals. Or even if we want to look to K-pop for this comparison, I think Soyeon's single from last year, Beam Beam, and the accompanying mini album, Windy, accomplished exactly what I'm talking about very well. If I'm gonna stack these two albums up against each other as solo mini albums from the rapper of a girl group, I'm gonna say that I do much prefer Soyeon's album over this one because I think it is much more personalized and unique. And I'm not saying that Moonbyul has to be goofy or weird, especially if that's not what she's going for, but I am saying that she has to make her music more distinctive to her personality. At least, that's what I think would make it memorable for me. But you know, for what it is, I think this album is pretty good. 7.5 out of 10. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on 6equence by Moonbyul. I hope you enjoyed this video. And, you know, if you want to see more videos in the future or be reminded of when I do post another one, hit that subscribe button, and, you know, you'll see when I have a new video, and then you can watch that video. So, you know, do it. See you next time.